opinions expressed on this program are those of the participants and do not reflect the views of BronxNet or the program underwriter. BronxNet, your voice, your views, your vision. Straight ahead on Perspective, we continue our discussion talking about the economy, America, and more particularly right here in the borough of the Bronx, when it comes to jobs and really getting your life in order. Coming up, we'll be talking about a re-entry focus on the part of the Bronx community, really putting people back into society through re-entry. That's straight ahead on Perspective with yours truly, Darren. Everyone, welcome to another edition of Perspectives with yours truly, Darren Jaime. We are talking about the issue of re-entry here on the show, and we want to let you know this past week on September 27th, there was a podcast at the Bronx Christian Fellowship Church talking about the Bronx New Re-entry, I should say, Renaissance Project, the Bronx New Entry Renaissance Project. And it's a program that is going to be designed to re-enter to those people who have been incarcerated. How do you get back into mainstream society, being a productive member of society? You've got plenty of people who are in the prison system, and the question is, how do we get them acclimated after prison life to become productive and good members of society? And so the Bronx New Entry Renaissance Project is trying to address that need right here in the borough of the Bronx. And so we want to let you know that we've got with us the Reverend True English, who is no stranger to us here on Perspective. She's been a guest previously before. They are the her and her husband are the senior pastors of Bronx Christian Fellowship, also the president and founder of the Kerwin Phillips Foundation. And what you know mostly about her is, you've seen her here on the show before. She works for the 1,000 Coats for Children of the Incarcerated campaign, where they actually donate 1,000 coats to families who are actually done with incarceration. And hopefully by the year 2014, it is her goal to have distributed more than 1 million coats. And so we welcome.
Thank you, guys. So good to see you.
Yes,
absolutely.
So now we're talking about another issue that is very dear to your heart, and I think it's dear to the hearts of many people, which is incarcerated individuals.
Yes.
Having an opportunity to really come back into society, and then also being able to gain entry into the workplace. In the previous shows, we talked about how here in the Bronx, it's rough. Unemployment rate is 9% across the country, 17% here in the borough of the Bronx, and it's going to be even larger for those people if they don't have the opportunity to experience reentry. And so I'm really trying to pull the gaps in.
Yeah, and the key word is opportunity. And that's what's not afforded to many of them when they come out of prison, simply because they were previously incarcerated. So they go for a job, and once they tick that box, it's a done deal for them. In many cases with these small and large businesses, where there has been vast discrimination. So we're aiming to change that here in the borough, and we're aiming to do it collectively. And getting away from the silos, while there are many of us doing great things in the Bronx, this is an initiative that we decided to come together on to change the landscape of the Bronx as we know it.
So the Bronx Clergy Legislative Roundtable, group of people come together, not just, not a few people. You guys were able to, amass a great number of people, not just from the faith-based community, but from, the legislative corridor and other segments as well. Talk about being able to galvanize that effort for United Front.
I think the drawing card there is the cause. It's a need, and we feel the energy of our communities, and we're looking for ways to stop the bleeding. And when you think about the fact that we have an 87% recidivism rate, where 16,800 of the population alone are reentering society. There's something that needs to be done. And then when you think on the national level, where between 60 to 70% recidivate, that's been going on for 30 years. So I call it like the paralysis of analysis. We analyze a thing over and over again. So we want to move from analysis to action and movement by implementing proven solutions. And so we're pulling together like everyone that has the knowledge and wherewithal, experience, and those that are previously incarcerated, bringing them to the table to help us pull this project together. And getting these people together in the roundtable, as I said, it was cause-focused. And we first did it initially, Dan. It was a legislative prayer breakfast. We felt on a national day of prayer, let's get our legislators together and pray over them. And so we had a steering committee coming from Bronxboro President Office, Bronx Clergy Task Force, the Northwest Clergy Task Force, Latino Pastoral Action Committee, they were there. They all just came together, and others, Pastor Bailey from North Fellowship, and decided, what are some of the issues that we're facing in the Bronx that we want to pray over and pray over our legislators for wisdom and strength during these times. And we identified five from health to housing and immigration and poverty and youth. We pulled that together, and then
you talk about the fact that all these people come together. And then at the same time, we have health, we got wellness, we got this, but then also at the same time, we also have recidivism, incarceration, and really putting those people back on track with the fact of understanding that, listen, we got to be able to say to these people coming back from the prison system.
Absolutely, and we have to do it collectively. And so the legislators came out, and, they've been hearing about it for each session we've had, and we've had it monthly since May, and it's just been growing and growing and growing. And we've all now saying, let's do this thing. So the legislators are in full support. Then we're going to need some other support from them as well in the days ahead to make this a reality. But the first phase of this is actually training us as faith-based leaders. That's phase one. So that we can be armed with the knowledge and the power and the information, to eradicate even our own errors, so that we can be more effective in implementing a reentry program that works. So once we get past phase one, we're looking to implement phase two, which is actually designing a borough-wide reentry model that will cause a change for our borough.
When you talk about the borough of the Bronx, there's some gaping holes as far as the Bronx compared to New York City and even across New York State. Well, a lot of people have actually been able to receive assistance in the area of what you're talking about. But, the Bronx seems to be like there's a gap.
There's a major gap. There's a major gap even when it comes to funding aspect. You hear of, the other boroughs getting funds for reentry. We haven't received those type of funds. But we're going to be aggressively going after it. And it's almost like we become the forgotten borough, but we are the one that's hemorrhaging the most. And so it's time to sort of like put our face up front so that we can garner the support and help that we need to make this a reality. And it's going to be a borough-wide effort. It's going to take everyone working together, from community-based organizations to faith-based organizations to our legislators, everyone, to see this become a reality.
Talk about success. There's such, when you talk about this, there's always the critics and failures, and this is going to be too successful. Reentry really doesn't, reentry doesn't work, and, opportunities for those people with recidivism, they really should occur. When we talk about the success.
I think part of the problem is, when you think of the fact that we've had a 67% recidivism over 30 years, what does that tell us? That tells us the system doesn't work. So it's not about engaging the systems, but what has happened is the systems haven't had the right people at the table. The right people are those who are previously incarcerated. They are the ones that need to provide the direction of what works. And so at the table, we're bringing New Leader Center for New Leadership for Urban Solutions, which is the only public policy think tank formed by previously incarcerated people. So we're not looking at just creating a program, just creating a program. We're going to be able to measure our success. Anyone that goes through this program, and we're still recruiting for that, so we're asking pastors from across the Bronx to come be trained along with us. is going to be a commitment. You got a 6-month commitment in training. You have a 2-year commitment so that you can be accountable to the BCLR as we measure success, you know. And so the way we're going to do that is we have a goal. We want to see, out of the 16,800 that come back into this community, 1/3 of them do not recidivate. That's our goal annually. Right. Okay? So we got 5,000 of the 16,800 that we're going to be helping. We get about 50 churches together or so or more that is able to handle about 100 persons coming out of prison. And we're not just talking adult population, we're also talking juvenile. I don't want to forget that. Really? You know, you help them throughout the year. That means that if you can effectively create not only them not recidivating, because you have those that are not recidivating that are homeless. Right. So we want them to be productive and contributing members of society. That's what I'm saying. It's going to take an army to make this happen. So we're talking from housing for them. We're talking job training. We're talking Department of Labor being involved. You know, the Justice Department's being involved. So it's a collective effort.
I'll take a quick break and come back and talk more about that. Can you talk about these other organizations that are actually taking part in it? But, you know, when people actually hear this, those are some of the places where you think you might anticipate some pushback. So I want to talk about the collaborative effort and how they've actually been supportive. Where, you know, sometimes we think it goes in a different direction, but they're actually showing real support here. And we're going to come back and talk with the other two English when we come back right here on Perspectives. Stay with us. We'll come right back right after the break.
Did you buy the flashlight and the batteries?
Yes.
Did you make sure we're not missing anything in the first aid kit?
Yup.
Did you go through the plan with the kids again?
Yes.
The more you prepare today, the more you'll be able to reduce the devastating effects of a tornado, an earthquake, a power outage, or any other disaster.
Mom, I'm not gonna go to college.
What are you saying? You've got to go to college.
Well, they offered me a job and...
Son, college is much more important.
No.
Yes.
No, Mom.
Yes.
Anyways, it's my decision.
Okay, well then decide what degree you're going to get because you will go to college.
Their tomorrow depends on your words today. The Hispanic Scholarship Fund has the information you need to help your kids go to college.
G-morning, sunshine. Wakey, wakey. Text me. Are your parents home later? We can hang. LUV, love you. JK. Holla back. Holla back. Holla back.
Are you with your friends? That's lame.
We're in a huge fight right now. XO. What'd you dream about?
Something I did?
Are you on your way to the
I'm
mall?
lonely. Nude pics. Send me some.
Text me.
Take my hand and start a brand new day. And together as one we'll start to see some change.
Underneath everything we are, underneath everything we do, we are all people. Connected, interdependent, united. And when we reach out a hand to one, we can influence the condition of all. That's what it means to live united.
We're back here on Perspectives. Darren Honey here with us, and we're here talking with Reverend Keith English, talking about the Bronx New Entry Renaissance Project. The project is dealing with new entry right here in the borough of the Bronx, trying to captivate those persons who are coming home and really being able to give them an opportunity to be productive members of society. Special roundtable was held on September 27th. Our very own Arlene Coco was in attendance, and she brings us this report from the event.
Elected leaders, community activists, and members of the clergy were on hand for the forum introducing the New Entry Renaissance Project. All agree that much needs to be done just due to the sheer numbers alone.
Advocate for the redirection of funds away from incarceration, but not just away from incarceration, but for redirection into community programs. Think about that for a second. $240,000 per young people. That means if we kept 4 young people at home in New York, that's a savings of almost $1 million.
Eddie Ellis shared that he served 25 years in prison. He's now with the Bronx New Entry Renaissance Project, a think tank that looks at innovative programs to help prisoners re-enter successfully into society.
And the model, once it's perfected and adequately funded, will be able to service approximately 1/3 of all the people leaving prison who are coming back to Bronx County.
Keynote speaker Pastor Derek Johnson is one success story. He served time in prison and for a time of that was on death row. He's now running for mayor in Wilmington, Delaware.
From the day we leave prison, we are competing with statistics. We are competing with personal history. We are competing with others who have an idea that they too want a place in society.
From job creation to the critical work faith-based institutions can provide, there's a role for everyone.
So the re-entry as well as the job training program that this roundtable is proposing is something that's clearly needed here in the Bronx. It is something that will help reduce not only overall unemployment in New York City, but reduce the persistent disparities in unemployment where communities of color face unemployment many, many times higher.
This is a collaboration. This is a crossroads that we have come to of elected leaders, of clergy, of the church, of community agencies, of state agencies to say enough is enough.
A panel discussion was included featuring New York City Department of Probation Commissioner Vincent Schiraldi, New York State Division of Criminal Justice Services Catherine Jacobson, and other agency heads, all there to take questions from the crowd.
Every one of us has something in their past that they don't want their whole life defined as, and that's true for the people on probation too. They don't want to be their whole life defined as a felon.
There were sobering moments like this one. Philip White, who served 26 years, has been out for 10 months and is unemployed.
I've been to several forums like this, and I'm completely and totally unemployed.
It's a 2-year commitment for churches that do sign on. Earlier, you heard the man that served 26 years in prison and has been looking for work for 10 months. Well, he was offered a job at a Bronx Fatherhood program, so far the program is working. For BronxNet, this is Arlene Macoka.
Thank you, Arlene. And right now being joined in studio by the Reverend Q English, who is co-founder of this event here. And let's talk a little bit about this, because we got a lot of people who see at the table. And as I said going to the break before, sometimes there's a pushback because they feel as though certain organizations will not be supportive. And, you feel as though you're up against the wall. But you've been able to really knock down some walls and knock down some stereotypes to really get these people to come together.
Yes. And I think the success in that is that you create ownership. Let them own it. It's not so much, my thing. It's our thing. It's our children. It's our sons. It's our daughters. It's our families. So you create ownership from all levels and acknowledge their strengths and their difference and the talents that they bring to the table. While we have our own individual strengths and talents and skills and abilities, they do too. So let's pull those all together to create a difference in our world. So that's pretty much what we're looking at.
And so it is a combination of people, elected officials, community-based organizations, churches who are actually coming together in this galvanized effort. Basically, we're going to have a Unified Sunday.
Yes, we are. We're so excited. It's October 9th, where churches across the borough, we have already some commitments. We're all going to preach a unified message, one of love, as it relates to our adult and male and juvenile population re-entering into society and the children of incarcerated. It's sort of break the stigma, number one, but also prepare our people for what's about to take place and so that they can also hear the heartbeat of God concerning this issue. It's the heartbeat of God. When I was in prison, he visited me. That's just the basics of Matthew 2 and 5. And it mattered to him. And because it mattered to him, it should matter to us. So we're going to provide it with scripture references and some key message points, that they can use for their sermon that day. So that in that evening, we're planning on coming together, as all the churches, sort of like as a support of families of the incarcerated.
So we got this coming up on October 9th. You want to be a part of it, and you can find out. Where can you find out about it?
They can find out from www.bcfcathedral.org. Even faster, if they send us an email at Fight for the Family, fight the number 4, the family at AOL.com. We'll send them all the information because we want more churches involved in the BCLR. We want more churches involved on this Reentry Sunday, and we want more members. So we're inviting faith leaders and community-based organizations to join us in this fight.
So that's why it's so important. Well, let's go back to some numbers that we also said before. When you talk about unemployment here in the borough, well, let's go nationally. Nationally, unemployment rate 9%. That is the national average across the United States of America, where there are 9% of people who are actually unemployed. What does that number round out to? That number rounds out to about 25 million people who are unemployed and or underemployed. 25 million people. Here in the borough of the Bronx, we're looking at a 17% rate. So that's 17% of Bronxites are currently unemployed. And as we heard through Reverend Q explaining to us, about 17,000 people are coming out of the incarcerated homes, and they're coming back to the Bronx community. So you've got another 17,000 people who are going to be entering in, and the question is, where do they go? What do they do? And so, on this event, we want you to be a part of it. We want you to support it. We want you to know more about what is actually going on, because we don't just want people to be a part of society, because as it is, everybody is a part of society.
Exactly.
It's wonderful if you become a productive member of society.
Exactly.
So you're pushing the people to come together. You're pushing elected officials to really join in.
Yeah.
At the same time, you're also pushing the federal side, because you got to get some dollars in order to help
Exactly.
as well.
Exactly. So we're pushing the federal side for dollars. We're also pushing it here. We're going to be, talking more with our elected officials for some dollars and cents as well. Another stat that's really important, Darren, is of our population, 1.4 million, almost 10% have been previously incarcerated. Mm-hmm. So we're talking 128,000 people of the 1.4% has experienced some form of incarceration. That's a high number. And we have to come together to make this a reality.
And the reality is, too, because those people say again, what's further about it, is that when you do have a record or incarceration, it just makes life a little bit harder in terms of getting a job. When I say a little bit, I'm really, softening it, but it becomes extremely hard for a person to really, go back and get a job. And, and working and sharing with people who've been involved in the prison system, it's been their heart's desire, many of them, to really get an opportunity to have this occur.
Exactly.
Exactly. How do you break down the stereotype of somebody who's watching and says, listen, we're all for second chances, but, some people will not make good use of it.
Yeah, it's about opportunity. When you look at it, they're individuals, there's people just like us. There's people with a record, We don't even say ex-offender, because that's a title. Now we've labeled them. But they're people, and a lot of them are brilliant, and more brilliant than some of us outside of the prison wall, So, and they're capable. They're not incompetent because they've been locked up. Their mind hasn't been locked up. Their heart hasn't been locked up. Their soul isn't locked up. They will literally be on a physical side. They need to have opportunity to prove that they can do this. They can become productive. What we've done is taken away social services. We made it difficult for them to get a job, to get housing. We have restrictions on where they can live and where they can't live, as if there's some kind of play. They are people. So we aim even to change the language of how we speak about those that have been previously incarcerated.
So you get an opportunity to find out a little bit more about it. We want to let you know exactly if you want to find out more information.
Fight for the family.
Fight for the family. And then we want to let you know it's called the Bronx Reentry Renaissance Project. And that's what we've been talking about. How long was this in the making before we started what we started in 27? How long was it take you to get this, to really pull all this together?
May was our first round table, but in June is when it just exploded because it became the topic for this particular round table. And from that panel discussion with the Honorable Aurelia Green, wanting to talk to clergy simply about reentry. And we had Divine Pryor on the panel, we had Senator Pastor Thompson about. By the time we were done, it was like there's more conversations to be had. And then it necessitated our, from listening to everything, let's open our eyes, clergy. We know we haven't been doing the best we can do. And while we can point figure at all the agencies, let's do what we need to do. Let's partner with them. We're not talking about the system coming to us. We're coming to the system. And that's the difference. We're not trying to where we're coming to the system to partner, but not necessarily to implement everything the system is doing, because they themselves have acknowledged. Commissioner Vincent Schiraldi, who was at the roundtable yesterday. We had the New York State Division of Criminal Justice Service, the New York State Office of Mental Health. All of them came together and acknowledged that they're not doing everything right. So that it's important that the collaboration is going to be crucial to be effective in this.
Let's get the information out there one more time before we wrap up.
Okay, fight for the number 4, the family at AOL.com. They can also call 718-231-1033, 718-231-1033. Again, fight the number 4, the family at AOL.com.
All right, Amos, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, Darren. Thank you for having us.
Well, then have you. Bring it back and we'll continue to keep you updated. Keep you updated. You update us, we'll update them, and then we'll continue to share information. And November, that's okay.
November 19th is our Thousand Coats for Children of Incarcerated. Once again, now we've included coats, shoes, and clothing. So we gave away over 1,000 shoes this past. And more workshops, more partners. Wow. It's exciting. It's exciting time.
All right. Well, we'll continue to ask if you check out the information at the bottom of the screen there. You'll be able to find out more information about the coast, find out more information about this re-entry, beautiful re-entry program. And that about wraps it up for this edition of Perspectives. We thank you for watching. Thank Arlene for her report. And we want you to know that if you want to find out more information, all you got to do is go hit us on the website, www.bronxfm.org. If you want to see some past episodes, make sure you look over there. You'll be able to see some past episodes. And if you want to share or comment, let us know exactly what you think about the show or a topic that you might want to see us cover. You're more than welcome to hit us on the web. We'll be able to do it. Also got the Facebook page. You can hit us individually, Darren Heine, or you can hit us in the Perspectives. We're open, and we'll be glad to get that information too. So all this on the set of Perspectives. Thanks for watching. Until next time we meet, stay safe, share your perspective with somebody else. Just want to make a difference in their life. Take care.
Mom, I'm not gonna go to college.
What are you saying? You've got to go to college.
Well, they offered me a job, and...
Son, college is much more important.
No.
Yes.
No, Mom.
Yes.
Anyways, it's my decision.
Okay, well then decide what degree you're going to get, because you will go to college.
Their tomorrow depends on your words today. The Hispanic Scholarship Fund has the information you need to help your kids go to college.
Take my hand and start a brand new day. And together as one we'll start to see some change.
Underneath everything we are, underneath everything we do, we are all people, connected, interdependent, united. And when we reach out a hand to one, we can influence the condition of all. That's what it means to live united.
There is also a very attractive extended warranty option that includes free service and parts for the next 5 years. But there's no need for you to get that. You failed to get the test you needed at the doctor that would have detected disease early enough where it could have been treated. So you won't be around in 2 years to see him grow up, which means the warranty would be useless. Okay, sign here, please.
For a list of tests every man should have, go to ahrq.gov.
When it's time for lunch, a sandwich is a quick and easy choice. And with the right ingredients, it can be good and good for you. So I'm here today to see who can build the ultimate sandwich. All right, when the time is up, our judges will give you their scores. Ready, set, go! Okay, Jason starts out with a multi-grain roll. Ooh, Allison stuffing her pita with, yes, spinach, a great source of iron. Jason isn't skipping on the protein, adding plenty of smoked turkey, just like Allison's putting the finishing touches with crispy red bell peppers for a dose of vitamin A. Time! It looks like we have a tie. We'll need to call in our special guest referee.
Now, these are what I call quick, delicious lunches.
whole grain breads, a whole variety of ingredients. There are so many different ways to build delicious, healthy sandwiches. These two get high marks in every category. I'd say you're both winners. America.
Let's get healthy together.